So I want to share a story with you. A long time ago, after my wife and I had gotten married, we went to go buy our first home. And like many first-time home buyers, we did not have a lot of cash to put down as far as a down payment or pay closing costs, and we knew even less about the real estate market and kind of what to look for. So we had a buyer's agent, a real estate professional that had our interest at heart. And they showed us different neighborhoods and what to look for. They guided us through the process. And in that situation, we were able to also speak to a mortgage professional that helped us realize that we qualified for a government type loan that gave us some assistance that enabled us to get 100% financing. And we also negotiated that the seller would pay some of the closing costs, so that basically we were able to make that transaction work and didn't have to come out of pocket at all. I think it was very little that we came out of pocket. Basically, this transaction I just described is the American dream. I heard someone say earlier this week, you don't ever hear anybody talking about the Australian dream, the Britain dream, the Russian dream. It's the American dream. The system may not be perfect, but it's good. And the reality is that you and I both work in that system that a lot of people are talking about, especially in Missouri this week, coming the verdict that came down and the lawsuit and all that stuff and what's going to happen in the future. But here's what I know, is that a couple of years later, I needed to sell that house. So now I get a listing agent that helped me properly market that house, properly price that house. And yes, I paid a commission to that real estate agent that also went to another agent on the other side. But here's the thing that people are missing in this narrative. A few years earlier, I was able to obtain that house based on the expertise that real estate agent that represented me in that home. I didn't have to pay a dime for that. However, because of that, I earned all that equity. I earned that over that length of time and was now able to have the cash to not only pay the seller, the buying agent, be able to take care and make sure that transaction, it put me in a position to now being able to buy another home and to build more equity and build more net worth. Again, folks, the American dream works. Whether you like it or not, whether you change it or not, and we have all these different opinions, the reality is you and I both know that there is value in utilizing a real estate agent. There's value in utilizing a mortgage professional to help guide you through the process, whether you're buying or whether you're selling. It's very important to have people in your corner. And so we know this. What we don't know is what's going to happen. Now, I've heard a lot of you talk about, we've got to be ready. We've got to be ready for the changes that's coming. Now, here's what I don't know. The more I know, the more I don't know. The more I realize I don't know. And I can't tell you, and you can't tell me either, exactly what's going to happen next week or next month or next year. The reality is this lawsuit may be appealed. It may go on for years, and it may come down some drastic changes. And if those drastic changes happen, we are going to have to deal with that. But the one denominator that will not change, regardless of how commissions work, regardless of how the transactions work, is that you and I provide value to the people that we serve. That will never change. So, obviously I wanted to talk about that this week because that's the elephant in the room. I could tell you about rates, I could tell you about the feds and all that stuff, and rates did come down a little bit this week, but the reality is this is what we're thinking about. So my commitment is to you as a real estate professional. I want to help you get past some of the fear that you may have, not only in the weeks and months to come, but in the years to come, to navigate some of those waters and some of those things that are completely out of our control. But the things that are in our control, I want us to work on. So I would love to get with you, first of all, to catch up with you. I'd love to hear your opinion and what you think is going to happen and how maybe we should navigate and position ourselves as mortgage professionals as well, because I stay in my lane. I can tell you about mortgages, I can tell you about programs, I can tell you all those types of things. But what I can't tell you is all the things and expertise that you guys have that you guys can help me with. So I'd love to hear from you on that end of it. And I would like to help you also from a standpoint of financing and how maybe we can navigate those waters, because together we are going to overcome all the obstacles that's in front of us. We've had so much that's happened in the last 10, 15 years. This is certainly another hurdle that we may have to overcome, but we will overcome it together. And so I just first of all, just want to encourage you guys, keep your head up and understand that you have value. And together, that value can serve a greater purpose than even ourselves.